Here's your latest African news. Mali. Mali summons French envoy over Macron comments. Mali's foreign affairs minister summoned the French ambassador to Bamako on Tuesday over comments by President Emmanuel Macron that it said were unfriendly and disagreeable. This is the latest in a tense dispute between Mali and its key military partner France over reports that Bamako could recruit Russian security firm Wagner, a decision that led France to reshape its counter-terrorism mission in the region. Mali's prime minister has also accused France of abandoning it in the joint fight against Islamist insurgents. Macron last week rejected the charges and questioned the legitimacy of the authorities in Mali. In response, the foreign minister of Mali said it had summoned the French ambassador to inform him of the authorities' indignation and disapproval. At the meeting, Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop strongly protested Macron's regrettable remarks, which are likely to harm the development of friendly relations, the ministry said in a statement. Zimbabwe. New dawn as UN reviews illegal sanctions. The impending visit by the United Nations Special Rapporteur to review the impact of the illegal and unilateral sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe by Western countries signals a new dawn in the relentless fight against the embargo, the country's opposition parties say. This comes as the UN Special Rapporteur Dr. Alaina Dohan is set to make an official visit to the country from October 18th to October 28th to assess the impact of the unilateral coercive measures on the enjoyment of human rights. These sanctions are only used as deterrent tools used to scare and punish African countries bold enough to challenge the Western world, just as Zimbabwe did during the Mugabe era. The visit by the UN expert is also a revelation that the world is now appreciative of the negative impacts that the sanctions have had on the country's development, experts and political players have said. The visit by the UN Special Envoy also comes at a time when the country received overwhelming support at the recently held United Nations General Assembly in the United States, where various countries also called for the removal of the illegal and banned full economic sanctions. Africa-wide. Africa retains top spot in air cargo. Africa maintained its position at the top of the World Air Cargo Performance Ranking, growing nearly 40% in August as the global airline industry continues on its recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic effects. Global air cargo market data from August 2021, released by the International Air Transport Association, shows strong overall growth with demand up 7.7%, well above the long-term average growth trend of 4.7%. Africa's fortunes were in a sharp contrast to Latin America, whose airlines suffered a 14% slump in international cargo volumes in August compared to 2019, the weakest performance of all regions. The region also has the largest reduction in capacity, with an international capacity decrease of 27.1% in the period. Although it accounts for only a 2% share of the air cargo market, the African region has for several years outperformed the rest of the world in operation terms post-growth, where the rest were stagnant. North America, which posted an 18% increase, came second to Africa, followed by the Middle East at 15.4%. Europe and Asia Pacific increased by 6% and 3%. Kenya. Kenya confirms bid for 2025 World Athletic Championships. Kenya confirmed on Tuesday its bid to host the 2025 Athletic World Championships, which, if accepted, will bring the event to Africa for the first time. Nairobi has hosted both the World Under-18 and Under-20 World Championships in the last 4 years, but faces a string of high-profile rivals including Tokyo, which staged the Olympic Games in July. Over the years, Kenya has become one of the countries to have produced the most successful long-distance runners, but has yet to see the World Championship elite runners perform in the country. Africa has never hosted the World Athletics Premier Showpiece, which was first contested in Helsinki, Finland in 1983. Kenya Sports Minister Amina Mohamed first announced the country's bid for the 2025 World Championships in Doha in September 2019, after World Athletics say the global event will be held on a rational basis across continents. Southern Africa. Southern African bloc extends troop deployment in Mozambique to fight insurgency. The Southern African Regional Bloc agreed at a summit on Tuesday to extend a troop deployment in Mozambique to help the government fight an Islamic State-linked insurgency. The Southern African Regional Bloc troop deployment was initially for 3 months and due to end in October. The Southern African nations agreed in June to send troops to help Mozambique respond to the insurgency, which is concentrated in the northern region of Cabo Delgado and has claimed thousands of lives since beginning in 2017. Rwanda, which is not a Southern African regional bloc member, began deploying soldiers in Mozambique a month later. The fight brought a $20 billion natural gas project led by France energy company Total Energies to a halt after fighters attacked the town of Palma in March. The communiqué on Tuesday said 3 soldiers on the Southern African regional bloc mission to Mozambique had lost their lives from Botswana and Tanzania. Africa-wide. Indigenous people at the center of protecting ecosystems. African indigenous people are increasingly being acknowledged for their protection and management of land, body waters, and wildlife. As their culture and livelihood are intimately linked to the natural environment, they often become the first and fiercest protectors of these spaces. The United Nations Development Programme, through its Equator initiatives and biannual Equator Prize, is shining a spotlight on the success of rural and indigenous communities in managing to create sustainable livelihoods while respecting and honoring the environment in which they live. The prize highlights outstanding community efforts to reduce poverty through the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. Agroforestry has become more widespread as an agriculture system that incorporates trees, palms, and shrubs, as well as annual vegetable crops and livestock. According to the Equator Prize, more than 70,000 trees have been planted by the members of the Tropical Forest and Rural Development. Thanks for watching. Visit our YouTube channel Tunacheki to watch our daily news reports and our website tunacheki.tv for all the latest news updates. Also, don't forget to catch our new show Startup Africa every Thursday on our channel. You can directly support this news series by becoming our YouTube member or becoming a Patreon. And remember, Africa is watching.